How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Chelsea Teaches Yoga YouTube channel. My name is Chelsea. Thank you so much for joining me for class. All right, so this month we are going to be diving into the different moon phases. So the four main moon phases being the new moon, the waxing moon, the full moon, and the waning moon. So each week I'll have a class dedicated to each of those four main moon phases and sort of their associated energies. And if you're interested in more information on these different phases, I'll have an associated podcast and blog post talking a little more about these concepts and these energies, which I'll link in the description below. Today's class is a new moon relax and restore yin class. So we'll hold the poses for a little bit longer. They'll be really stretchy, chill. You don't necessarily need any props, but I will say if you have a blanket, grab kind of a thick, cushy blanket because this can be kind of helpful. And other than that, I think that would be it. So we'll go ahead and start in reclined fish pose. So if you have that cushy blanket, go ahead and roll it up into sort of a burrito shape. So you'll just kind of boop, 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 roll it up. So you have this kind of long burrito Tootsie Roll thing, and you're gonna lay it down long ways, about where your spine is gonna be laying, okay? So once you get that into place, you'll just kind of butt your hips up against the bottom of that, and then just very slowly lean all the way back onto the blanket. And then just let your arms kind of drape to the side. So this is a very gentle heart opening. If your head is off of the blanket and it's uncomfortable, you can put a pillow or a block or something underneath your head to hold it up. Otherwise, just settle in here. Keep your feet bent, your knees bent, and your feet on the floor. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Open your mouth, exhale it out. Inhale deeply through the nose. Audible release. And then just begin to settle into your supported fish pose, letting the blanket or the pillow, whatever you have underneath you, just hold you up. And the new moon phase is all about rest and relaxation. It's about pausing in the busyness of our lives and taking the time to reflect and to just contemplate. In the context of the full cycle of the moon, this is a great time to reflect on what happened in the previous cycle. Reflect on what we learned, what we might want to do in our next cycle, create intentions based on what we learned in the past cycle. So this new moon is about just taking a step back. Not just letting the body rest, but letting the mind rest. And this is how we refill our cup. We can't stay active. We can't stay in go, go, go mode all the time. We can't be high energy all the time. We, just like the moon, are cyclical beings. We move through these phases just like the moon. So it can be very beneficial to sort of equate our own cycle with that of the lunar cycle. And now, during the new moon, we're giving ourselves the opportunity to take a step back, rest, restore, and create intentions for the new cycle. So really allow yourself here to sink into this state of retreat, of ease, and of possibility. By taking a step back, we allow possibility and opportunity to be revealed to us. So keep that in mind throughout this whole practice, especially if you get frustrated with stillness or long pose holds. Just think about the opportunities and the possibilities you're opening yourself up to by taking a step back. Two more breaths. And then as you're ready, really gently roll to one side off of your blanket. Just enough so that you can kind of use your hands to remove it out from underneath you. And just kind of push it to the side. And we're coming into half happy baby now. So keep the feet planted. Left foot stays to the ground. Lift your right leg up and reach your right hand for the pinky edge of your right foot. Hug your right knee down towards the floor. Half happy baby. Letting the body and the mind stay in this state of restfulness, of relaxation, of contemplation. If you want a little bit more sensation and it doesn't cause strain, you can feel free to straighten the left leg down onto the mat. But be cognizant of if that becomes too much. If that's no longer a state of restfulness, but that becomes a state of effort, then maybe rebend the left knee. Really rely on your breath here to anchor you into the moment as you breathe. Let's stay for another 2 breaths on this leg. Nice job. If you lengthened the left leg out at all, go ahead and replant the left foot. Release the right foot back down to the earth. We'll come into half happy baby on the other side. So let the left knee come up, bend the knee, reach for the pinky edge of the left foot, and just hug the left knee down towards the armpit. Remember, we're looking for ease rather than effort. Just opening up into the left hip. If you want, feel free to lengthen the right leg out, but remember, if you enter into the realm of effort, then back off. No effort needed here. We're just backing off, coming into the state of restoration, of refilling our cup. Probably many of us in our lives have quite a few things that require us to be high energy, to be on, to be action oriented most of the time. And we can only sustain that if we give ourselves the opportunity to back off, to pause. We can only grow if we take the opportunity to pause. This is the time for reflection. 2 more breaths. If you straightened the right leg, rebend the right knee, plant the right foot, release the left foot back down to the mat. Now hugging both knees all the way into the chest, we'll come into a gentle supine twist, both knees over to the right side. Just cactus your left arm, and you can stay gazing up or over to the left. Again, it's whatever requires less effort. Really feel your shoulders getting heavier down into the mat as your knees pull over to the right. Let the muscles of the face stay relaxed. Perhaps now would be a good time to start to layer on an affirmation. If I give myself permission to rest, I give myself permission to rest. Inhale, both knees all the way back to center. Exhale, drop them to the left, stacking the knees, cactus the right arm, looking straight up or over to the right. Again, whatever feels most natural and comfortable and what requires less effort. As you're breathing, with every exhale, maybe imagine that the earth underneath you is enveloping your body in warmth and comfort and support. Two more breaths. Beautiful job. Inhale, unravel knees back to center. And then exhale, feet to the floor. Go ahead, roll to one side, doesn't matter which side, completely over. And then just use your hands to begin to press up and come into hands and knees, tabletop. All right, and then as you come into tabletop, we're coming into child's pose, which I'm actually gonna, again, take my blanket underneath my knees. If you have a blanket, you can feel free to do the same. Even if you don't have sensitive knees, since we're working on sort of that attitude of rest and restoration, just giving yourself something kind of cushy to relax to can sort of totally change the demeanor of your energy. So knees wide on the mat, big toes together, hips back to heels, walk your hands out in front of you, Balasana, child's pose. Really sink back into the hips. Don't activate the arms at all, just let them hang. Let them relax, shoulders are heavy. Inviting the stillness into the mind, as well as the body, and as well as your energy and your life, your personal phase, your cycle. What might you open yourself up to if you take a step away, if you pause for reflection? Very gently inhale to lift the head just enough to start to walk your hands off to the right as far as you can, and then relax the head down. Breathing into the left side body now. Letting these stretches physically create space in the body as we energetically and emotionally make space in our lives. The new moon is a time of coming possibility and opportunity. But first we must step into the space of that opportunity, the emptiness, the possibility before the creation. As you're ready, lift up just enough to start to walk through center, inhale, and then exhale over to the left, again, as far as you can go. No force, no effort. Relax down. Pause to observe the space that you're creating in your body and in your life in this new moon phase. Nice job. Inhale, start to lift back up. Walk back through center very gently. Lift back up to tabletop, so hands and knees. And we'll move through just a few very gentle cat-cows and just make them like half of the amount of a cat-cow you would usually do. So not even full extension or rounding. Just let it be kind of almost like lazy. Just taking that step back. So inhale for cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Just maybe like 50% of what you usually do. Exhale, cat. 2 more, cow. Inhale. Exhale, cat. And last time, inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Nice job. Come back to neutral. Thread the needle. Inhale, right arm reaches high to the sky. Exhale, thread the right arm under your left armpit. Lay onto your right shoulder and right cheek. Perhaps walk your left hand out in front of you for a little bit more of an upper back stretch. Let the weight sink down onto your right shoulder. And just lean into the rhythm of your breath. Let go of effort. Instead, allow a moment of rest. I allow myself rest. Two more breaths. Bring the left palm to plant. Inhale, press back up. And exhale, tabletop. Other side. Inhale, left arm sweeps high to the sky. Exhale, thread the left arm under the right armpit. And just settle the weight down onto the left shoulder now, walking your right hand forward, even allowing the eyes to close. And just enjoy the stillness, enjoy the silence, and the sense of ease that you are granting yourself. It's not lazy to take a step back. It's not failure to not work 24/7. We are cyclical in nature, so allow yourself the opportunity to explore your energetic phases. And if you were more aligned with those phases, what might you be able to do? What possibility would lie ahead of you if you honored these phases? Two more breaths. Start to bring the right palm back down. Slowly inhale as you rise back up to tabletop. Exhale. Stand gently up onto your shins here for a moment. Hands come to hips, gazing towards the front of the mat, and just step your right foot out in front of you for a little low lunge. It doesn't have to be the deepest ever. Just sending the hips forward and down, creating some space. Keep your hands gently on the hips, just gazing forward, deep breaths in and out. Let's take 2 more breaths. Beginning to shift back into half splits now. Send the hips back as you straighten the right leg, flex the right toes, bring your hands down to the mat, and just melt towards your right thigh. Again, there's no effort happening here, so don't pull yourself deeply into the pose. Just respect your edge and relax into it. Step back and observe. And inhale, lift your gaze. From here, just sink back into your right leg for a moment so you can push up, hands to hips, and bring the right leg back behind you again. Taking it to the other side, let's step the left leg out in front. Again, doesn't have to be the deepest lunge, just a little bit of a lunge to sink the hips. Roll the shoulders back, gaze forward. Take a step back, connect with your breath. Connect with the sensations of the body without judgment. Reflect. Pause. I allow myself to pause. 2 more breaths. Moving into half splits, start to push into your left foot to send the hips back. Straighten your left leg, flex the left toes, bringing hands down to the mat, and then just melt to your edge. Again, if you're tight, you might not get that deep. That's fine. Don't force. We're not efforting here. We're releasing, we're relaxing, we're restoring, we're reflecting. Breathe. One more inhale. Exhale, start to shift back forward just to bend the knee enough so that you can push into the foot and step it back. Whew, all right, awesome job. Go ahead and come back down to your seat. If you had a blanket, go ahead and move it out of the way. We're coming into butterfly pose. So soles of the feet together, knees out wide. And you're just gonna grab hold of the fronts of the shins, sitting forward on your tailbone. Take a big breath in, roll the shoulders back, lift tall through the crown of the head, and then just exhale, begin to melt forward into your butterfly. Again, respecting your edge, not efforting, melting, and then pausing to reflect. I allow myself to rest. I allow myself to rest. Doing so great. Keep focusing on the breath. Amazing job. Inhale, lift back up. Take the legs wide now on the mat. Again, just respecting your own edge, not forcing anything. There's no effort here. Lean forward a bit into the hands. If this is as far as you go in your wide stretch, this is as far as you go. If you have a little more space, you can start to walk forward, maybe bringing your forearms down. But again, there's no effort here. We're just relaxing. Taking a step back and pausing. Taking a step away from the effort that we are constantly putting forward. Refilling our cup. Focusing more even on the breath than the movement. I allow myself to rest. Two more breaths here. Next time you inhale, if you drop down at all, use your hands to just kind of press yourself all the way back and up, and exhale, roll the shoulders back. All right, so to finish out, let's go ahead, bend the knees, and I'll turn back forward on my mat, and we're just gonna very slowly come all the way down to the ground. And if you do still have that blanket nearby, you're more than welcome to kind of bring it underneath your sit bones, or underneath, sorry, not your sit bones, your tailbone, your sacrum area, if you need a little cushion. And we're coming into waterfall pose or legs up the wall, except we're not going to use the wall. We're just going to do it here on the floor. So again, you don't need a blanket underneath you. I just kind of like, again, the extra cushiness to sort of remind me to let go, release. If you have the blanket or not, we're going to take both legs straight up to the sky, arms down by the sides, just tucking the chin very slightly in towards the chest, not too much. And just let the legs kind of hang in the air. And we're letting gravity just kind of reverse sort of the force and the flow and the pressure that is usually on our legs and feet. And we're just allowing it to sort of come out of the feet, to move back into the heart as we pause, as we accept rest and restoration. You might even start to feel a little bit of a tingle in the feet, totally normal. Let's take 3 more breaths. And next time you inhale, bend the knees, let them sort of just fall in towards the chest. And as you exhale, begin to bring the feet to the mat, removing anything if you had a blanket underneath you at all. Let the legs grow long now as your arms come down by your sides, eyes closed if they're not already. Let your body be heavy. Let your mind come into a place of reflection as you consider the opportunity and possibility ahead of you in the next phases of your cycle. Honoring each and every phase of the moon, but also of your personal life, of your personal energy. And letting these last moments really reflect this restoration phase of your life. Take a big breath in. Open your mouth, let it go. Shavasana. If you have the time to stay longer in your Shavasana. But if you're ready to come out, start to wiggle out your fingers, your toes. Roll out the wrists and ankles. Inhale, find a big full body stretch, reaching your arms up overhead, lengthening. And then exhale, bend your knees, roll gently to one side, pause there for just a moment as you transition, and keep this energy of restoration with you for this new moon phase. And again, repeat to yourself, I allow myself to rest. Gently use the palms to press back up to a comfortable seat. Eyes still gently closed, lifting tall through the crown of the head, and we'll seal our practice with palms together in front of heart center. Expressing love, gratitude, and compassion towards yourself, towards your body, and towards your practice as they all exist right now in this moment, as well as every single moment to come. Inhale, thumb tips up to tap the center of the forehead, the third eye space, and as you exhale, gently fold forward. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. All right, yogis, thank you so much for joining me on the mat here at Chels Teaches Yoga. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Remember that there is a related blog post and podcast episode that I have linked in the description below if you like this idea of the moon phases and you want to find out a little bit more about them. Membership is also still open in my online virtual yoga community, the Yoga Magic Studio. So if you like building upon what you already know, growing and applying your practice to your everyday life, the Yoga Magic Studio might be an awesome place for you. I have also linked that in the description below. There's plenty of stuff for you to look at down there, so go ahead and check it out. I will see you next time right here on the mat.